In the 6 o'clock hour of GMC Weekend, we were joined by U.S. Navy Commander Charlie Summers.
That's right. Commander Summers has been involved in pretty much every aspect of planning today's memorial event at McKenzie Arena to honor the 5 servicemen killed in Chattanooga last month.
We talked about why the military decided to hold the event, and here's some of that interview. So we want to know, where did the idea to have this ceremony originate from?
Well, with the horrible events that occurred on the 16th of July, the city of Chattanooga and the entire Tennessee community has been so very supportive, so much love, so much support. The Navy, the Marine Corps, and certainly everyone we're working with at the city wanted to do something to kind of give back to the city and let them know just exactly how much we appreciate it, and also share a very dignified, very solemn tradition with the military when we lose some of our members, like the 5 who were lost in Chattanooga. It will be a tremendous ceremony. It will be something that will certainly be emotional, but it will mark these 5 members' lives in a very, I'll get it, it's too early, yes, very solemn and dignified way. And
how long has the planning for this ceremony been in the works?
Well, it came together actually very quickly because right after the 16th of July, of course, there were the funerals and trying to be there and support the families of the fallen, all of everything that was associated and continues to be associated with supporting those families. But soon after LS2 Randall Smith, when his funeral occurred, we then turned our attention to the memorial. Many of us, there's a tremendous team of Marines and Navy and really all service members that have been working with the city, with everyone that has been so just magnificent to us to really put a ceremony together that I think the city of Chattanooga will remember for a very, very long time.
I was thinking about that, I know that during these kinds of things, obviously there are plans in place for certain things, but I would imagine that things evolve as time goes on, even afterwards, when you see how a city is reacting or the country is reacting, and then other ideas may come into play.
Well, yeah, and the team that we have working on this is really a very kind of eclectic mix of military members, because they're from all over the country. Normally, in a military exercise or something, that is planned for months and even years. Something like this came together very quickly because of just the kind of gaping wound I think it's left in the souls of everyone involved. And the men and women who serve in the military are obviously very patriotic. They come from all over the country, but one of the differences that I always like to point out, when you're talking about reserve members or National Guard members, in this case Navy Reserve, Marine Corps Reserve, these members most often live in their communities and have grown up in the communities, so they have very deep ties to the communities. And I think that certainly is one of the factors that has touched people so deeply here, is because many times these are people they grew up with.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and we saw that when we were, covering the funerals and everything.
That's right.
They were just so deeply rooted in our area.
That's right, exactly. I mean, that was, such an emotional part of it, as well, as you say, because sometimes, they might have been the funeral somewhere else or whatever, but, they were right around our area.
Well, and one thing I really want to point out is today is really about the families of those who were lost, and it's certainly about the sailors and the Marines that are serving and the greater Chattanooga community. But I think this is a tremendous opportunity for all of us to stand together and really show just how much we appreciated their service, and it's something that we have to do to mark the event and mark their passing, but it also shows that we will carry on because they would want us to do so. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right, Commander, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we will be talking a little bit later in the second half hour about more details about the ceremony, so we look forward to talking with you again.
Terrific.
Thank you so much. And during our 6 a.m. show, we talked with U.S. Navy Commander Charlie Summers.
He's been involved in planning today's memorial service at McKenzie since the beginning.
Yes. Last half hour, we talked with the commander about why this event is happening. Now listen to what he says you can expect to see if you go to the arena or watch right here on News Channel 9.
Well, I think what they are going to see is a very solemn, very dignified event that will memorialize the 5 fallen members, the 4 Marines and the 1 sailor. It will be something that I think will be very, very moving. Of course, the Vice President will be speaking, and there will be other speakers such as the Secretary of the Navy, Secretary of Defense, and the commanding officers of the Marine Detachment and the Navy Detachment at the Navy Operational Support Center. So they'll be able to hear from people who were directly affected by this, as well as the civilian and the military leadership. And I really, I'd like to kind of talk about that just for a moment, because when you consider the fact that not only the Vice President, but the senior civilian leadership, the senior military leadership are making the time to come to Chattanooga, I think it really demonstrates not only their commitment to Chattanooga and the community and the respect for that, but the magnitude of the event and how deeply it's touched not just everyone here in Chattanooga, but people all across the country and indeed across the world.
It was really incredible to see the list of people who are coming today. They're really from all over.
Right, and they certainly are. And again, today the focus is on the families. It's on the people who have lost service members, and it's just been a very certainly difficult time for them, and will continue to be. And it's important to note that the military members have stood by them and will continue to stand by them, because it is a very long grieving process.
I was thinking, and I'm sorry, it just came to me though that the Vice President recently lost his son.
Yes.
And it was a very emotional time for him, and I'm sure that I can't think of anyone who could relate to losing a family member or someone, and so that would be something that I think is going to be a very prominent part of this.
Absolutely. And now, how long do you expect this program to last, do you think?
Well, there will be 6 speakers total, and of course there will be music from the Navy Sea Chanters and the United States Marine Corps Band, which both are just tremendous. And I really think that when your viewers or people who are there see that will be incredibly moving. And then one aspect of the ceremony that I think everyone will want to pay attention to, it will be the calling of the roll, if you will. And you'll see that the names that are called there's no response, and that will certainly drive the point home that we've lost these 5 fine Americans, and it'll be probably the most moving part of the ceremony.
Wow. So there's going to be a lot more besides people speaking.
Yes.
Wow. Incredible. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate that. And again, today is about the families, about Chattanooga, and certainly about everyone that cares so much.
Well, we really appreciate you coming in and really giving us the feel for what's going to be coming on. It's very good of you to come in so early, and I know you've got a busy day ahead and everything. So
thank you.
Much appreciated.
Yeah.